Good day, and welcome to this All for One Media Investor Conference Call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After the prepared remarks, we will conduct a question-answer session. In order to ask a question or make a comment, please press the star key followed by the number 1 on your touch-tone phone at any time. Questions will be taken in the order they are received. Any and all forward-looking statements made by management on this call are not a guarantee of performance, and you should not place undue reliance on such statements. We have based these forward-looking statements largely on our expectations and projections about future events. Forward-looking statements are subject to any uncertainties and other circumstances. Examples of forward-looking statements include statements relating to macroeconomic conditions, our expectations regarding future growth, including future revenue and earnings increases, EBITDA margins, free cash flow projections, and annual growth rates, our growth plans and opportunities, and our assumptions underlying these expectations. At this time, I'd like to turn the call over to Brian Lukau, President and Chief Executive Officer at All for One Media. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Emma, and thank you to everybody that's on the line. My name is Brian Lukau. I am the CEO of All for One Media, and I want to welcome everybody onto the call and for your interest in our company. I look forward to having the opportunity to give you an update on the company and to answer your questions. Our mission at All for One Media is to develop and monetize entertainment content for the tween market throughout the world. There are 3 parts to that mission statement, and I want to dissect them for you. Number 1, monetize entertainment content. Number 2, the tween demographic. And number 3, throughout the world. Let's start with entertainment content. That means for us primarily movies, music, video, licensed merchandise, and in the future expansion into scripted television and unscripted television. In a few minutes, I will review and share All for One Media's specific content plans for the next several quarters. Number 2, the tween market. The tween demographic, who we serve, tweens are between the ages of 7 and 14. There was a study by a market research company called Through recently, 74% of tweens watch more than 30 minutes of mobile video each day, and 1 in 6 watch more than 2 hours. I could spend the entire call discussing the tween demographic and why it is potentially so lucrative. I won't. I'll sum it up this way. The tween demographic is easier to reach, in our opinion, than any time in history, as the current generation of tweens are the first group ever to grow up in a mature social media environment, and they are all media savvy, and I don't think I'm telling anybody anything they don't know. They have grown up they don't know a world without cell phones. They don't know a world without the internet. It's been around since they were born. And then part 3 is throughout the world. In essence, what we have taken to say at All for One Media is the world has gotten smaller and the market has gotten bigger. I'll give you 2 examples, and then I'll bring it back to All for One Media in a few minutes. In 2013, the boy band One Direction generated over $1 billion in revenues. That's $1 billion in revenues over 1 year for the boy band One Direction. It's impressive. You can Google the words One Direction billion and back me up. But here's something even more astonishing. I'm sure many of you are aware of the K-pop boy band BTS. According to a recent article in the Hollywood Reporter, BTS last year accounted for $4.65 billion of South Korea's GDP. The Beatles didn't do that. New Kids on the Block didn't do that. The Backstreet Boys and NSYNC didn't do that. And the reason is, again, the world is getting smaller and the market is getting bigger. It's all about access. We live in a streaming world whereby movies are streamed to a worldwide audience, music is streamed to a worldwide audience, videos are streamed to a worldwide audience. So by extension, it is easier to reach the world than it was in the past. The barriers to entry have well, let's just say the world has gone through a tectonic shift over the last several years. And I'll give you specific examples of AFOM's reach again in a few minutes. Sum it up from a big picture point of view, from our perspective, All for One Media is a unique company, a unique public company, a tween content company, and we're in a business where the landscape is extremely fertile. We believe we are positioned to achieve our goal of building mega multimedia brands in a very lucrative space. Let's talk about Drama Drama. Drama Drama is a song. Drama Drama is a girl group, and as you know, Drama Drama is a musical movie. Our goal is in 2022 to put it all together and establish Drama Drama as a brand. But let's start in terms of the movie. The film was conceived from the very beginning with dual objectives. Number one, obviously we want to generate as many revenues for the company as we can. Okay, but number two is the movie is to serve as a 100-minute commercial to launch the girl group and to launch the brand. So our primary goal has always been to generate impressions, or if you want, eyeballs. Thus, the movie is not only a film that a great many kids love, but it's also a 100-minute commercial to launch the girl group and, by extension, the Drama Drama brand. Drama Drama is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. It is also available on Tubi, on Google Play, on Vudu, on Apple TV, on Redbox, and on numerous other platforms. However, since one of our primary goals has always been to generate eyeballs, we carved out the right to release the movie commercial-free on YouTube, whereby it would be available on the official Drama Drama YouTube channel to anybody that has an internet connection. Why? Again, and I'm being repetitive because it's important, we believe eyeballs will open up multiple revenue streams. And take note, the biggest streaming platform in the world is YouTube. According to a Piper Jaffray report that came out in May of 2021, YouTube has passed Netflix as the number one platform for streaming. Most importantly, from AFOM's perspective, you don't need a subscription to Netflix or Disney Plus or what have you to gain access. All you need is an internet connection. And thus, our target demo throughout the world can be reached easier through YouTube than any other platform. Furthermore, YouTube is not only the most popular video streaming service in the world, it has a mobile reach of 88%, and nobody else comes even close. A vast majority of tweens have cell phones and tablets and computers, and tweens watch content on their cell phones and tablets, and tweens watch content on their computers, and of course they're adept at casting their content choices to television. So, again, easy access and many ways and many platforms to watch Drama Drama. Right now, as I speak to you, we are approaching 1 million views on YouTube. Now, this is not a music video. It's not 3 minutes long. It's over 100 minutes long. And we will, in fact, within the next 24 hours, I'm highly confident, pass the 1 million view threshold. And also, important, we have accomplished that by design, and somebody can ask me about why, with minimal marketing. In other words, the movie has generated views through positive word of mouth, and if you want, call it a grassroots campaign. We are planning on ramping up marketing in January, and we are optimistic that the 1 million views will become multi-million views on YouTube, and add to that all the views on all the other platforms that Drama Drama is currently airing on. So we talked about building, and I said I'd bring it back to Drama Drama and All for One Media, worldwide brands. On YouTube, Drama Drama the movie currently has over 100,000 views in South Africa. We have close to 100,000 views in Nigeria, Jamaica, and Kenya. We may be over now. This was the last time I checked several days ago. Drama, the movie, has been viewed in over 20 countries and on 5 continents. And let me repeat that for emphasis. Drama, the movie, with very little marketing, has been viewed in over 20 countries on 5 continents. We have added Spanish and Indonesian subtitle options, and we plan on adding other language subtitle options in the future, pretty much on an on-demand basis. Additionally, the movie, and this is important, has a 29-to-1 like or thumbs up to dislike or thumbs down ratio on YouTube. And we're proud and we're excited about that. And in the YouTube comments section of the movie, the response is overwhelmingly positive and encouraging, and we're proud and excited about that as well. One thing that is been proven undeniable is a high percentage of kids that are aware of drama, that watch drama, love drama. And what I would say to anybody on this call, if you haven't watched the film, please do. Consider it the best due diligence you can do. If you have a tween in your household or tween over for Thanksgiving, please have them watch it. And also, again, suggested due diligence, browse through what kids are saying, read the comments. And I want to note we have not spent a penny, not a cent, on YouTube optimization. What does that mean? YouTube optimization is basically allows you to purchase views or inflate your numbers. YouTube would tell you, and they're not completely wrong, it helps drive people to your video, in this case the drama movie. It's done by giving them keywords. So we would give them words like musical movie, tween movie, Pitch Perfect, Olivia Rodrigo, but we haven't done it. And we haven't done it for a specific reason, and that is that we want pure views. We want people to discover the movie, share the movie, because they love the movie. And it's not a strategy that we plan on pursuing in the near future. So basically, what I'm saying to you is we will pass 1 million views over the next 24 hours in more than 20 countries, and those views are organic. We're not window dressing. We're not relying on anything more than positive word of mouth and Instagram and TikTok posts, and that's it. And pretty much that's the extent of it. One final point: as of today, Drama had a higher IMDb, Drama the movie, had a higher IMDb rating than The Kissing Booth, To All the Boys I Loved Before, and He's All That. All 3 Netflix tween movie smashers. So another thing we're proud of. Now, on the music side, the entire soundtrack is available on all music streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon. I can go on and on, but any music platform pretty much has the entire soundtrack. The first new drama single that was not part of the movie is a song called Perfectly. It's Perfect Tween Girl anthem, and we released it as a single, a girl group drama single in August. In addition, we recorded a drama Christmas song, which will be released 1 week from today on Thanksgiving, called Wild Christmas, and that will be followed up on December 15th with the release of Drama's next single and simultaneous music video called Snoochie Boochie. And we think the song and the video will perform strongly with Drama fans, and we think it will introduce a whole new world of kids to Drama. So in essence, the Drama music will drive the movie, and the Drama movie will drive the music, and in fact help us build Drama into a mass media, merchandisable, live touring brand. All for One Media is going to launch a social media campaign specifically on TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, pretty much where tweens live, to promote the release of Snoochie Boochie. And one more note. The song was written by Sam Hollander. Also, feel free to Google him. Sam has written numerous worldwide smashes, including Panic at the Disco's worldwide #1 hit, High Hopes, which has over 1 billion Spotify plays and over 600 million YouTube views. He has written with everyone from Ringo Starr to Carole King to One Direction, the billion-dollar boy band I referenced earlier. And Snoochie Boochie was produced by Rob Grimaldi. Rob's latest smash production was the billion-dollar boy band BTS's single, Butter, easily one of the top 5 songs of 2021. Butter has over 650 million Spotify streams. It was released in May, I believe, and the video has over 600 million views. So we believe we have a great pop song. It's finished. It's going to be released simultaneous to the video. We have a great girl group song, and we have a really fun, exciting video that's now in the editing stage. So we can, you can see we are expanding the Drama brand next week with the release of Wild Christmas. We are expanding the Drama brand next month with the release of the song and video Snoochie Boochie. We are ramping up our branding model beginning in the first quarter next year. We are ramping up our marketing on the movie in the first quarter of next year. In 2022, our objective around Drama is to mount or build a touring show of the movie that will combine all the elements of musical theater and a live pop concert. We expect to generate revenues from streaming video on demand on Amazon Prime, transactional video on demand, advertising video on demand. We are on, as I noted earlier, the movie is available on all 3 different types of platforms. We expect to derive original revenue from streaming music, music publishing, live performance, live licensed merchandise, and corporate sponsorship. And we will actively pursue third-party music licenses, ad-driven videos, third-party script licenses, and potential drama spin-offs and sequels, which we've been in discussions with several parties over the last several months. Now, let's talk about expanding the AFOM business model beyond drama. In 2022, All for One Media is planning on casting, creating, and producing, launching, if you will, a new boy band. Our goal is to introduce a boy band that will rival the best boy bands of yesteryear and today. And I gave you some of what that means if we're successful. We believe we understand the challenges, the costs, and the potential rewards. And just as a way of background, for people who don't know, prior to AFOM becoming a public company, I was the co-creator and producer of the boy band Dream Street, which signed one of the largest deals in the history of Atlantic Records for a new artist, had a Billboard #1 selling album, signed a contract to appear on 25 million boxes of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. We were the opening act on the Britney Spears Oops, I Did It Again tour, and we took the band from malls to Madison Square Garden. So we think we know how to do this, and we think we know how to build a mega boy band brand to go with our movie and girl group brand. Dream Street, by the way, was beloved by tweens across the country, and even now Dream Street is beloved by a generation of kids that grew up with the band. So we know the boy band business. Now, what we have done is we have initiated talks about a possible boy band partnership with Robin Anton to collaborate with us through what's being discussed as a 50-50 joint venture. For those of you who don't recognize the name, Robin Anton is best known for forming the Pussycat Dolls, who achieved worldwide success and were one of the top girl groups in history. They have over 1 billion cumulative Spotify streams. They were the best-selling girl group of the 2000s, and they are the 4th biggest girl group all time. And if we are successful in coming to an agreement on a joint venture, we believe our combined experiences in joining forces in forming pop groups will enhance our goal not only to launch and to produce and market, but to really create the next big thing. And I should stress that, and I want to be very careful here, this is in the negotiation stage. I can tell you that we're both excited and we want to do it, and there can be no assurances that a partnership will close. But I am hopeful that AFOM will have a definitive announcement by year end as to whether or not we are going forward with this partnership. In any event, AFOM intends to expand into the boy band business in 2022. So let me just review from a business standpoint. In 2022, we have 2 primary initiatives, and that is to expand the Drama Band and mount a live touring version of Drama, and to cast, create, introduce a boy band with the goal of reaching critical mass. Okay, let's take a look at All for One Media, the stock, from a valuation perspective. Is the stock a buy, a sell, or a hold? That's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide. And I hope that by sharing this information today with you in terms of updating you on the company, you can decide in the affirmative. This is, again, your decision. But let me give you some information. We currently have 4.41 billion shares outstanding in All for One Media. 4.4 billion. Now, when I did the calculation and I was preparing my remarks, the stock was trading at 0007. That gave us a market cap of a little over $3 million, about $3.1 million, which is, well, I'm not going to say what it is. But that's based on today. The stock traded as low as under 0004. So that would I didn't do the calculation, but that would take our market cap down to about $1.5 million, $2 million, whatever the number is, a significantly small number based on what I think our potential is going forward. We have accumulated debt on the balance sheet of roughly $4 million. So that means currently we have an enterprise value of just over $7 million. Enterprise, in fact, maybe under now, but let's call it $7 million. Enterprise value is calculated by adding market cap and total debt. And it's the best way, I think, to come up with an analysis of what you're paying for your company. Our goal is to own and monetize assets in entertainment worldwide. We own a tremendous amount of assets. We're monetizing some of those assets now, and we will continue to do so. So we believe we are well on the way with our movie, with our girl group, with our expansion into the boy band arena to have assets and brands in the megaverse that can make the stock look extremely undervalued. We're, like I said, releasing new assets this month and next, and we're building assets that are monetizable. And again, I can't tell you whether or not to buy the stock or not. But I can tell you that the market is pretty much discounted at this point any chance that we have of success, which I find fascinating, considering that I think we're further down the road to success than we ever have been since we became a public company back in November of 2015. And with that, I've pretty much concluded my remarks. Emma, would you open the call for any questions that we might have?
If you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your touch-tone phone. You may remove yourself from the queue at any time by pressing the pound key. Once again, that is star and 1 to ask a question, and we will pause a moment to allow questions to queue. Once again, that is star and 1 to ask a question, and we will take our first question from Jeff Fern. He's a private investor.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hi, Jeff.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you.
Yeah, I got in a few months ago, and I got in at a higher level, and I've been wanting to buy more, but I haven't seen any social media presence. I haven't seen any awareness. Nothing. I mean, you guys kind of went dormant, and the stock's been going down. Do you have anything in the works? I mean, the plans to get a little more eyes on this company, or?
I think that's a very fair question, and let me backtrack for a minute. As you probably are aware, we were delinquent in our filings, and COVID was a very, very tough period for our company, where basically a lot of deals that were on the table were put on hold. A lot of people got very scared, and we were delinquent in our filings. So for several months, the focus of All for One Media was to get, and the challenge for All for One Media was to get current in our filings. And a lot of people inquired at the time, are you going to get current, are you going to get current, are you going to get current? Because we ran the risk of being delisted if we didn't, and we did. Okay, and it was no small feat to do so. So with that said, I think you are correct. I think we need to do a much better job of communicating with the street, and I expect that we will be. And it's something we've discussed in-house, and I think it's something that we will be picking up on. And if you don't see anything in the next day or 2 or 3, we had this call today, but we're looking forward to being able to communicate more with the street from an All for One Media standpoint, and I think that's what you're talking about, Jeff. Correct?
Yeah, because I really appreciate. Like I said, I'm willing. I'm looking to buy more, but I just haven't seen anything from the company. And I'm like, there's no awareness, no nothing, and I'm just a little hesitant. So if I do see some, I'm definitely willing to get my feet in deeper here.
Well, hopefully my comments today gave you at least a clear view of what our prospects are and what our game plan is and what our valuation is, and maybe that can, in fact, help in terms of you making your decision. So thank you for your thank you for your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll take the next question from Esther.
Hello? I don't hear anything.
You do not hear Kevin?
Kev.
Oh, hello.
Okay. Hey, Kev.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, Kev, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Nice to hear from you.
You too. So I'm definitely excited to hear these plans. It feels like it's kind of like finally coming full circle. Just in regards to putting it out to the shareholders and for us to kind of help grow the company, I was just wondering if maybe the plans for 2022 could maybe be put into like a graph or something, like just a chart kind of just showing when everything is expected. So that's something maybe we could all share around too and kind of raise awareness with us, just because it's great to hear, but it would just be nice to see kind of a visual of when everything's supposed to be coming through.
Sure. I think that after we report out, we're on a September 30th fiscal year. And And after we report our September 30th, it's so weird that now that we're current, all of a sudden we had like another 10K, which is frankly a lot of work on our part. But our accountants and auditors, as soon as that's done, I think what we'll do is we'll put out a a more of a timeline, a rough timeline, and to be completely transparent on that. The other thing that is that so using the boy band as an example, there's a development phase. And to do this correctly, that development phase encompasses auditions, callbacks, contracts, rehearsals, recording, and what have you. So there things sometimes take a little bit longer, and things sometimes go smoothly. So what we don't want to do, Kevin, is we don't want to put out something, and if we are delayed or wrong, but in essence still on par to succeed, put ourselves in a position where we look like we have misinformed the public. So I think what we need to do is share what we're doing, but do it in a way where there's a range of dates, just to protect.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And then just one more question. So clearly all this stuff that's in the works for 2022, this does cost money, and we understand that. And so regarding the authorized shares increase to 19 billion, which, I mean, that's over almost 5 times what the outstanding shares are right now. What are your plans with dilution this year? Like, are we just, like, to build our value, if that keeps happening, like, do you have a plan to use it all, or how much are you planning to use it?
So just let me explain something to you, because I think that's a very reasonable question. This is the third time in 5 years that we had to increase the authorized. And when you increase the authorized, number one, it is expensive to do so. Okay, you're dealing with transfer agents, you're dealing with securities agents, you're dealing with Edgar agents, you're dealing with the state of Utah, where we are domiciled. You're dealing with accountants, you're dealing with auditors. So you're dealing with a massive mailing. I'm sure all the shareholders, you got mailings about this as well. And so there's a lot of work and a lot of money. And I came to the decision that I do not want to be doing this again anytime in the near future, because it's expensive, it's a pain in the ass, and it takes our eye off the ball of the basic business. So I think the thing to think about is, or the thing to focus on, is primarily the issued and outstanding as opposed to the authorized.
Yeah, and I completely get that. I was just saying, do you plan on significantly raising it?
No, I don't plan on raising it again.
As needed?
In other words, I raised it to a level this time that I feel like I won't have to go through this process. I could have raised it. I mean, I don't want to be coy. But if I raised it to $100 billion, it would have been the same thing. It's really the issued and the issued and outstanding that I think are the best ways to make a judgment as to what the valuation is from a market cap standpoint, not the authorized.
Oh, yeah, and I completely agree. I was just wondering with the plans, because, I mean, you can move that to outstanding whenever you want. So that's why I was just kind of wondering, like, you're not planning on just moving a bunch of them right away to the outstanding shares from these authorized shares?
It wouldn't be us doing so, but we have convertible debt holders, and if they convert debt to equity, well, then our debt is going. The good thing is our debt is being reduced, and the bad thing is that there's dilution to the stock. So that's why when we talked about it earlier, we talked about it in terms of enterprise value and what's the value of the company versus what the upside or what the potential, or frankly, whatever you guys decide, the company is worth. So, obviously there'll be dilution, but do I expect that you're going to see, it's not like we're moving the stock over. It's the stock gets converted through convertible debt holders, and we have reduced our debt holders in the last year from 8 to 3, which is a major, major accomplishment, especially given some of the business challenges during the pandemic. So our goal would be that we would, try to reduce our debt over the next 12 months dramatically. And, I think that's the best way I can answer your question, Kev.
Fair. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, by the way, and appreciate your support.
We'll go next to Nathan Schramm with Private Investor.
Hi,
hello,
Nathan.
Nathan.
Sam here. How you doing? Thank you for this call and updating all the shareholders. I have a pretty significant position because I really enjoyed the movie. I'm an adult, but I was like, I think kids are going to like the theme of this, and I guess I'm a kid at heart. So I put like 10% of my portfolio into All for One Media.
Well,
and,
I'm grateful. I'm very grateful you liked the movie.
Good. And I think Kevin pretty much asked the question. I was going to ask about the authorized share count and the increase in it. But the one thing that got me a little bit concerned when you were like, I could be coy and, say 100 billion, it doesn't matter whether it's 10 billion, 100 billion. But Stock GGII did that. They increased their authorized shares to 100 billion. And we were like, okay, well, maybe they won't convert, or maybe they're doing that so if there's a buyout, then they can prevent a hostile takeover. But they ended up immediately dumping it all into the OS, and the stock went from 15 cents to it's sub-penny now. So, but it sounds like you answered that question fantastic, that there's only 3 debt holders, and, you got rid of 5 debt holders this year. So that's fantastic. Is there anything else you wanted to add to my comment?
Well, I think what I would want to add is really simply this. One of our principal debt holders is a company called GS Capital, and GS Capital has been very, very, very good to us, and they also are while they're in the business to make money, they're also very sensitive to the fact that they know our company very well, and they believe in our. And I don't want to speak for them, but I think they believe in our business model and our company, and so I feel that we're in a much better position than we were. But the big question, I'm still waiting for the question that I was sure was going to be the first question that I got. So I'm still waiting. I'll tell you when I hear it if I do. If not, I'll address it anyway. But thank you for watching the movie, Nathan. I appreciate that, and I hope everybody on this call watches the movie.
Thank you. Yeah, keep up the good work. And yeah, like the previous caller said, if you guys can have a little bit of social media presence, because you do have a Twitter account. If you just throw out a little bit of Twitter posts, there's a lot of here on FinTwit, financial Twitter. So it would be much appreciated.
Let me ask you a question. Where do you guys go for information? You go to Twitter. Where else do you go?
I'm kind of old school because I've been trading for 20 plus years, so I still use Yahoo Finance, which is like old school, and iHub, Investors Hub. But I'm on Twitter.
What about does that? I mean, I can't. I guess everybody's muted, but I'm curious. Is Wall Street Bets specifically for memes? I don't spend any time on message boards. I try to avoid them at all costs. It takes my eye off the ball. But the question I have for you, and I do agree, and I promise that give me a little bit of time, but we'll get up and going with better communication on the investor side. But is Wall Street Bets a place where anybody goes? If anybody wants to just unmute or get in the queue and let me know, I'd appreciate that also. I'd like to know where you guys are.
All right. Well, appreciate your comments, and you guys can go on to the next caller. And yeah, well,
thank you very much. Thank you very much for your question.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll go next to Michael Schropes, an investor.
Okay. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Brian?
Doing fine, thanks.
So my first question is, has any of the streaming or other services, the music, been turned into a revenue stream yet?
So it's an excellent question, and still not the question I expected to hear first, but it's an excellent question.
Well, I got some more.
And I'm going to answer it honestly. The music is a lagging indicator. Traditionally, it's starting to pick up. We have not gotten a singular statement back from. We distributed the movie to all of the. We had many offers on the movie, and they were all remarkably the same. We didn't take the best offer. We took the offer whereby they would allow us to carve out the YouTube free, do it ourselves thing, because that was more important to the bigger picture of getting all the things I talked about earlier. We have not gotten a singular statement since the movie was released. I have inquired about it, and we will be getting one as of the December 31st period. We'll be getting a statement to find out how the movie's doing. Having said that, I know that there's been problems on Amazon Prime, and I'm looking into the possible opportunity to move the movie to a different streaming service, which is going to be somewhat challenging in the fact that the movie's up for free on YouTube, so there may be some, that might be a challenge. But, I myself have gone on to Amazon Prime to search the movie, and it's there, but you've got to look for it, and that's a little disappointing.
Right. So I can't find it personally. What does singular statement mean? I don't know what that means.
It means like
So you haven't gotten a singular statement yet.
Singular meaning one, meaning the first statement, and it's a recoup statement from the different. We did this much on Redbox. We did this much on IMDb TV. We did this much on Vudu and Tubi. Some of these, what's become
by this
popular,
much, you don't mean views. You mean revenue coming into.
I mean views. Well, both. I mean views. My assumption is that information will all be disseminated in a statement, but because we came out mid-quarter, we're not going to get a statement till December 30th, after December 31st.
But there should be. You expect revenue from these streaming services.
I wouldn't call them streaming services. I would call them let's break it up to SVOD streaming services. TVOD, that's transactional, meaning video on demand services, whereby people pay $4.95 or $5.95, depending on the service, to watch the movie, and AVOD. And AVOD is interesting in that you get paid a percentage. They put ads in the film, and you get paid a percentage of the ad revenue in the movie.
Right. So you expect, from SVOD, AVOD, you expect revenue streams from the other streaming services you don't?
And TVOD. No, I didn't say
TVOD?
that. I expect we'll start to see revenues from all of the services. Now, giving the movie away for free on YouTube is certainly going to diminish some of what we might do elsewhere, but we're big picture thinkers, and what we're thinking is that the more important thing right now is to get as many eyeballs, whether it be on Vudu, Tubi, Amazon Prime,
right.
Or YouTube. To me,
right.
A kid. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So you have big plans, and that's great for next year. Do you know what your expected revenue is coming in to cover those big plans?
You mean our expenses
to
or
fund
our revenue? Do you mean
your
our
revenue.
expenses? Well,
the expenses to do what you want to do.
Well, I think we will adjust our plans and our timing according to our revenue and our ability to bring in money. So to bring or partners. Okay, so in certain cases we will bring in partners to help offset the expense of development costs. In certain cases, we will be able to self-fund through revenues, and in certain cases, we will look towards our lenders and to help fuel our growth.
So potentially borrowing more money, and as of right now, you have no plans for the available shares to be used to generate some of those funds to be able to do what you want to do.
Well, the available share, it's very challenging if your stock is trading at a triple O something price. Okay,
it's very challenging to own it too.
Well, listen, we're doing the best we can, and frankly, I think the market hasn't given us a fair representation of our value. But that's, again, not for me to tell you. That's for you to decide. My point being that it's a bit of a balancing act, and our ability to achieve our goals is going to be based on a combination in 2022 of all three.
Okay. Can I take a shot at your question? I think I know what your question is.
Go ahead.
That you've been waiting for.
Right. I'll tell you if you're right.
Has anybody offered to buy the rights to Drama?
Yeah, we have had offers to buy the rights, and we've rejected them outright, and that was not my question.
Recently? Okay.
Prior to us recently, prior to us releasing the movie on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, and those negotiations, to sell the again, we've spent $4.5 million in shooting the movie, producing the movie, casting the group, recording the music, developing the brand. Okay, so
did you ever go back to? I'm sorry to interrupt you. The state of Georgia had that lawsuit that they weren't going to reimburse you for.
No, we didn't have
expenses?
We didn't have a lawsuit. Unfortunately, we got screwed by the state of Georgia. We might have been able to pursue a lawsuit, but we never did.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's a very fair question. Okay, we were entitled to a 30% tax rebate from the state of Georgia and a 5% tax rebate from Savannah, which, considering we spent, based on the money we spent in Georgia and Savannah, and we should have been entitled to get $2 million, 30% of $2 million roughly back. I think it was $2.4 million, if I remember correctly, or $800,000 dollars back, and we didn't. We got screwed by the state of Georgia, and it's a little bit of a weird state, Georgia. I don't know if anybody on the call lives there, but it's a little bit of a weird state in that you need to hire a Georgia attorney to go after the state of Georgia, and it's very difficult to find a Georgia attorney that's willing to challenge the state. So at the end of the day, we will not be shooting our next movie in Georgia. I can say that with confidence.
Okay. So I sidetracked you, though. We were talking about funds for being able to do the initiatives that you want to do in the next year.
Again, a combination of revenues, joint ventures, and tapping into financing sources. I think that's the way that we plan on funding our growth.
Okay. And as of right now, issuing additional shares, available shares, is not a plan?
No, not issuing, again, let me be clear, not issuing additional shares. However, there may be conversions, and I expect that, of debt that become shares in the company, and if they do, that would, again, from an enterprise value point of view, reduce the debt and increase the outstanding. And so, like I said, it's a bit of a balancing act. I think the way to value it is to look at the company as a combination of debt and equity and make a judgment on what it's worth based off that.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you answering the questions, and just please don't disappear again.
I'm happy to, and
as an investor.
Those were excellent questions. I still haven't received the question I was looking for.
Yeah, I will wait now, along with everybody else, very excitedly to hear what this question is. Very curious. Thank you, Brian.
Okay. Emma, next.
We'll take the next question from John Verrentis, investor.
Thank you, John.
Okay, Hi. Can you hear me?
I can, John. How are you?
I'm good, Brian. How are you?
Well,
okay, so I think I have the question. Are we headed for a reverse split?
Bingo. And I would have bet anybody that was the first question. So, John, not to be long-winded, and I think we're going to break the call up in about 10 more minutes, if that's okay with Emma and everything, because we're supposed to be on we're going over our timeline. But I want to answer this question. Okay, we have no intentions, and I want to be very clear. We have no intentions of doing a reverse anytime in the near future. Certainly, I don't expect to be doing one in the next 12 months. And, what would possibly change that? And by the way, the reason I expected that question is because it's the question I get emailed more than any other question since we got current with our filings. The reason that we would maybe in the future down the road is if we execute on all our business plans and we have an opportunity to let's say uplist to the NASDAQ or something like that, we may need to do so just because, based on price and something like that. But that would be good for everyone, and I don't see, and frankly, based on how long it takes for things to happen, I definitively can tell you that I don't see that happening in the next 12 months.
Okay, well, that's great. I think that alone is going to lift the stock price tomorrow, because I think that's one of the reasons the price is down that far. One more question. You said there's 3 debt holders. What's roughly the total debt that's out there to the debt holders?
I referenced it earlier. The total debt is roughly $4 million.
Okay, so really, if they were to convert all of it at once, it's going to totally sink us to.
They can't. They legally can't convert it all at once. They can't convert more than 4.9% at any one time. I think it's 4.9, 4.99, something like that. They can't. It's under 5%. You can't convert all the debt at one time. I think that if we perform, the market will certainly be able to suck up the debt, and like I said, every time we convert our debt, we're reducing our debt, and every time we reduce our debt, that's a good thing too. So but that's not something that can happen. And reducing our debt holders from 8 to 3 greatly reduces the number of potential conversions that can come in.
Okay, last question. I got into the stock about exactly almost a year ago, and last year this time. The stock took a big jump from really like 0.004 to all the way up to about 0.005, and it since that time it's been backing up. So since it's been about a year, with everything that you just mentioned on the call, if we get it out, do you foresee that type of a move coming up? And I know it's a loaded question, but some of us, as one of the previous callers said, I do have a very big percentage of my stock portfolio in AFOM, for better or worse, but
Well, okay. Well, first of all, we appreciate your loyalty. Second of all, I absolutely can't comment, or I've stopped trying to figure out many years ago, sometimes where the stock will go. I will only tell you that I think and I will repeat that I think we're a better, stronger company today than we've ever been since we've been a public company. I think we're in better position now to realize our our goals, and the market is going to take it where it wants to take it. Now, I promised everyone we would do a better job of communicating with the street, and we will do a better job of communicating with the street. But beyond that, I can't tell you where the stock is going to go. I can only tell you guys, here's the information on the company. You make a judgment on what it's worth.
Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate the info.
I certainly think the stock is undervalued, but you have to make that own decision for yourself.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
Thank you. Why don't we take two more questions, Emma?
There's only one question left in the queue, and that is Brian Ricca. He's a private investor.
Okay. Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. Thank you for joining the call.
Okay, so I have one or two questions for you. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer them, but one of them is about your investor, GS. Are you able to tell us more about them and who they are? Is it possibly Goldman Sachs?
It's not Goldman Sachs, but no, it's a private equity. It's a private equity company who we consider smart money, who we have started with a small relationship several years back and have built it into an increased relationship and a relationship of trust over the last several years. They are a very well-funded company that has investments in dozens of other companies beyond All for One Media, but they're very good at what they do. They're very honest. They're very hands-on, and we're proud to call them partners.
Okay, I know a lot of investors have speculated about that. To answer one of your questions, I got into the call about halfway through, but I know you asked about where most investors go to find out information. Personally, I go to investorshub.com, and I think that, my primary concern as investors that you've done a horrible job keeping people up to date. And I know a lot of the other investors have been a little bit more relaxed about it, but now that I have the opportunity to talk to you, the reason your stock is falling so much is because you're not keeping people updated. And who's going to want to buy into a stock that's 0.001 one day and then they lose 50% of their value the next day? You're not doing anything to protect shareholders. Am I right?
So I'm going to say two things to you. And number one is, I agree we've done a poor job on that, and I've also suggested that we are going to take steps in the short term to remedy that. That's number one. Number two is that during the time, and this is going back from literally 10 of the last 12 months, during that time where we were delinquent in our filings, all right, I was extremely concerned to say anything, okay, because our securities attorneys basically suggested until we were current that we should not be communicating with the street, and so we were in a tough position, and we did get current, and I've made a promise on this call that we are going to address it. Don't expect that means tomorrow, but I promise you we will address it in the short term, within the next couple of weeks, or at the very worst case 30 days, where we set up a system to communicate, do a much better job of communicating with the street. And I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate your.
Okay. All right. Is there a part two coming to that, or did I let you finish everything, or can I ask?
No.
Question?
That's everything I have to say. Is there a part two from you?
All right, I don't mean to give you a hard time. I'm just telling you, like you said, it's my honest opinion. If you want investors, instead of telling all your family and friends, I don't know if you have or not, but there's a good chance that you have, instead of telling people what's going to happen and letting them load up on cheap shares, I would be the one, protecting your shareholders. Just like any business, if you hire a contractor and that contractor's rude and doesn't give you a good price, you're not going to go out and tell everybody about him. You're not going to give him more business. But when it comes down to your company, if you want loyalty that you've talked about, you need to protect shareholders and keep them updated.
I hear you loud and clear, and I want to say one thing, and then we're going to cut the call, and I'm going to say thank you and good night. But I want to say one thing. I have lots of family. I have lots of friends. I don't.
Wait. I have one more question.
Let me finish, please. I listen to you.
All right.
Okay. I have family. I have friends. I don't tout them on All for One Media. I don't tell them ever. Okay, anything that I haven't told the street. In fact, if I'm guilty of radio silence, as you've alerted me to, and other people on this call have, I've tried to explain why that was and how we're going to rectify it. Okay,
all right,
I do get your message loud and clear, and I appreciate your message, and I hope that we've learned a little bit on this call. I hope that I certainly have, and I hope you guys have as well, and gals if you're on the call. And I can't tell you how much I'm very glad we did this, and I'm very grateful for your time.
All right. One more quick question. Do you have any good news that you can share with us right now? Anything that would make somebody want to invest in your company right now? Something that hasn't been released.
I just spent the last hour sharing what I thought was really good news. Okay, sometime in the next 24 hours, we're going to go over 1 million views in 5 continents on the movie. Okay, I think that's really good news. We're releasing new material, both video and audio material for the drama band. We're expanding into the boy band brand, and we might do so with a major partner, depending on if the deal closes or doesn't. That we have the success to build what we believe is to be the next big thing, the next mega brand. That's as good as I can do on this phone call, and I think that should be enough. But, that's, again, for you guys to decide. And I don't mean to be coy or didactic and facetious in any manner. What I mean to tell you, in the truest sense of the word, is we, as management, are very excited about the future of All for One Media. We, as management, are enthralled by the response we've gotten to the movie and the new and the new content that we'll be releasing, and we know that we need to do a better job communicating with the street, and that started with this call today. So with that, I'm going to say thank you to everybody very, very much. I'm really glad we did this. I hope it was informative. And I look forward to doing it again in the future.